Hey, so you're a Jeep owner, you've got that check engine light staring back at you, and you're seeing this kind of cryptic code, U0402. Well, you've come to the right place. Let's unravel this thing together.
That check engine light always pops up at the worst times, doesn't it? It's stressful. And a code like U0402, it can feel like your Jeep is trying to speak to you in a totally different language. Well, today, we're going to play translator for you.
All right, first things first. Before we can even think about fixing it, we have to understand the warning. So, what in the world is this U0402 code actually trying to tell you?
Okay, so U4042 is what the pros call a diagnostic trouble code, or a DTC for short. It's basically a little SOS signal from your Jeep's main computer. And this specific signal, it's flagging a communication breakdown, a glitch with the transmission control module.
Here's the easiest way to wrap your head around this. The Transmission Control Module, or TCM, is pretty much the brain of your transmission. Yep, it's brain. It's the command center telling your gears when to shift up, when to shift down, all the big decisions. So you can probably guess if there's a problem talking to the brain, things are going to get weird fast. So if the TCM is the brain, what's causing all this static on the line? What's causing this communication breakdown? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the most common culprits behind this error.
There are a few usual suspects here. More often than not, the problem is a malfunctioning TCM itself, the brain is just on the fritz, or it could be an electrical fault somewhere in the wiring. Now, it's a little less common, but the issue could also be something like a faulty speed sensor or even a deeper mechanical problem inside the transmission itself.
Let's go back to that analogy because it really helps make sense of this. If the TCM is the brain, then all the wiring connected to it is like the vehicle's nervous system, carrying all those critical signals back and forth. A problem with either the brain or the nerves is going to cause this error. And that is exactly why technicians almost always start their investigation with a faulty TCM or bad wiring. Which brings us to the next logical step, the investigation. How does a mechanic actually play detective and pinpoint the exact cause? Well, it's not about guesswork, it's all about a systematic approach. See, a trained technician follows a very clear process. It always starts by connecting a professional scan tool to pull that code directly from your Jeep's computer. From there, they'll do a really thorough visual inspection of the transmission, the wiring, all the connectors, everything. If nothing obvious jumps out, then they move on to more advanced tests to finally hunt down that root cause. And when we say advanced tests, what does that even mean? Well, it could mean taking your Jeep out for a road test to see how the transmission behaves under real-world conditions. Or they might perform something called a pressure test to check the hydraulic health of the system. These tests are what give the technician the critical data they need to make a definitive diagnosis. Okay, so the investigation is complete, the culprit has been identified. Now it's time to talk about the fix. What does the repair process actually look like to get you back on the road? As you can probably guess, the repair is tailored directly to the cause. If the TCM, the brain, is faulty, it gets replaced. If the wiring, the nerves, is damaged, then it gets repaired or replaced. Same deal goes for any faulty sensors or other mechanical parts that the diagnosis managed to uncover. And here's a piece of advice that is absolutely crucial. For any of these replacements, you've got to make sure you're using genuine Jeep parts. This isn't the time or place to try and save a few bucks. Using genuine parts guarantees you're getting high-quality components designed specifically for your vehicle, and that is key for long-term reliability. Whew, we've covered a lot of ground here, right? From the problem all the way to the solution. So let's just boil it all down to the most important points you need to walk away with. What's the bottom line? So to recap, code U0402 is a communication error with your transmission's brain. The most likely cause is a problem with the TCM itself or its nervous system, the wiring. Remember, this really isn't a simple driveway fix. It requires a professional diagnosis with professional tools. And when parts do need replacing, always insist on the genuine article. Ultimately, a code like U0402 isn't just a nuisance. It's a direct message from your vehicle. It's telling you that a critical system needs attention. So the real question is, are you listening to what it has to say?